Hello everyone, कैसे हैं मेरा प्यारा amazing very super great मेरा बच्चा लोग? And if you're seeing me for the very first time, I have to give a bit of information about me, right? So let's say this is Ameer, your physics educator at Unacademy, and अब सब लोगों का प्यारा भैया, right? And this is going to be the very last lecture of the modern physics ka, not modern physics ka, for the dual nature of matter and radiation, right? This is going to be the last lecture, and in today's lecture the main topic of our discussion is going to be the de Broglie's hypothesis and matter waves, which is so much interesting and with full of important concepts and questions. We'll be covering through all the concepts and all the questions. I hope you all are with me, isn't it? Yes or no मेरे बच्चे लोग? So before we get started with the session, I want to say hi to all my बच्चे लोग and ask कैसे है मेरा प्यारा बच्चा लोग and how every one of you is doing. Hi Gayatri, hello Meera, Sugamana, I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for asking. Shreya, good evening. Sumit, good evening. Komal, Aditya, Jia, Vippu, Cute Panda. Then we have Kezia. Then okay, every one of you. A big hi, a big hello, and a very big good evening to every one of you. आप सब बढ़िया है ना? I hope everyone is doing so good and having amazing days and making the best preparations for the term 2 that is upcoming. Okay, देख ले. I know that many of you might be seeing me for the very first time, and that's why I kept this slide as my first slide for the session, right? Like all the teachers do. I have an experience of more than 3.5 years in the field of teaching JEE NEET and board student. I'm a beta graduate from an IT Calicut in mechanical engineering. And that is all about me, like I say in all my classes, right? More about me, you'll come to know as we go on, keep on going with the classes. And I know that you all are going to attend my classes from today onwards. So obviously, you'll get to know more. Now, if you don't want to miss any of the live classes from me and any of your favorite teachers, you can be a part of the Telegram channel. The Telegram channel ka link is given here and also in the description box. Fine. What is Bug Bounty, मेरे बच्चा लोग? And it's an amazing program to help you get allotment of prizes. Do you know what you have to do to get all those great prizes? You just have to go to the description. There you'll find a form. Fill the form if you are finding any inappropriate content in the videos uploaded by Unacademy. And if it is valid, बहुत सारे prizes मिल जाएगा मेरे बच्चा लोग. देख ले. Now I'm giving you another chance to grab lot bunch of prizes. And what is it? Those who haven't heard, you must hear it from now onwards, and I want every one of you to register for the Unacademy Combat scholarship test, which can help you to get a lot much of prizes. So don't miss your chance. You come and have to write a very simple test and grab the first rank, and you're going to get gold medal. And if you are the second person, silver medal, and for the rank 3, bronze medal. I haven't completed for the first 3 ranks. First 3 ranks will be given 1 year of Unacademy free plus subscription essay. Others will be like, sir, why are you giving so much of consideration to the rank 1 to 3? Why? What about the other ranks? Dekh le, others are also given scholarship. No one will be leaving the scholarship test without any gifts. So everyone is going to grab a lot many things. So don't miss your chance. Okay. Now to have just like icing on top of the cake, right? Let me tell you one more thing. The registration to the scholarship test is completely free. You don't have to be a press or iconic or kuch nahi hona chahiye, right? The registration is completely free. You simply have to use the code of AMB10 while making the registration. So you can get into the scholarship test completely for free. है मेरे बच्चा लोग पूरा free है. So don't miss your chance. ठीक है? देख ले. Now let me ask, just like I ask in all my classes, right? How many of you have already shared the classes to all your friends? Those who haven't, this is your time. My voice is breaking. Bachcha log, is my voice breaking? Let me see. My voice is breaking. Bachcha log, is my voice breaking? Let me see. My voice is breaking. Hello. Bachcha log, is my voice breaking? Let me see. My voice is breaking. Hello. 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 So are you able to listen to me properly? Hello. So are you able to listen to me properly? Okay, so everyone is facing. 1 minute, I'll just stop the streaming and I'll try to make it correct, and then we'll come back. Okay, give me a minute. 1 minute, I'll just Now tell me, chalo, can you all hear me? अब मेरा आवाज अच्छा सुंदर हो गया क्या? I did my small chotu changes here. Is everything fine right now? Can you all hear me properly? Now clear? Perfect? Okay, then to awesome, bilkul badhiya. Then I don't need this mic. Okay, so this, I think it is the problem with the mic. Makhan clear? Arey wah. I didn't know that मेरा voice तो इतना मक्खन clear था. So what I was telling you मेरे बच्चे लोग, अरे share the class to all your friends. जल्दी से ask them to join. Tell them that Bhaiya has already started with the modern physics का third lecture for dual nature, and this is going to be the last session. Ask them to not to miss this particular class. जल्दी से. In the meanwhile, we'll give them 2, 3, 4 minutes for them to join. In the meanwhile, within 2 minutes, I'll just explain what are the amazing, super great features of Unacademy Plus subscription platform. देख ले everyone. Nowadays we are learning through YouTube, right? And it's an amazing thing. I totally agree with that. But there are certain things which you might be missing in YouTube classes. What are they? First thing is, right, I know that many of you would love to have a personal guidance or personal mentoring directly from the educator. Matlab, I know that you might have wished so many times to have an educator just behind you to tell that you are doing a mistake whenever you make one, isn't it? And this can happen once you're a part of the Unacademy Plus subscription platform, because there we have the online and the live chat boxes and the question tab where you can ask all your doubts, get it cleared during the live class itself. Let's say your doubt is not cleared still then. What you can do? You can call the educator through the app itself, talk to the educator during the live class, get your doubt cleared through his voice on the spot. Matlab, you will only be leaving any of your live classes with zero doubts. कुछ भी नहीं हो जाएगा आप लोगों को. No doubts will be there. Only pure, crystal clear, clarity वाला information and theory will be there. Okay. Then देख ले, top educators of the country who's having an immense experience in education will be there to teach you. Because of their immense experience, they'll be able to tell you, right, what are the examination pattern you should be expecting, what all questions you must be practicing so that you can have the best preparation for all the examination. What is going to be the result? You'll be acing in all the examinations you write, and more than that, you will end up in the colleges whichever you are dreaming about. Then study material, practice test, live test series, everything is going to make you super confident and will only be bettering your education. And your studies. If you go for 12 months, it would actually cost you 1,250 per month, but we have this code of AMB10, and if you use this code, it's not 10%, it is 20% of discount if you make the subscription before today midnight. Usually it was 10%, right? Now before today midnight, if you make the subscription, don't miss a chance, you will be getting 20% of discount, so don't miss it. Okay? Now I'll just add about iconic subscription. Here we'll get all the features of Plus subscription plus some extra features such as personal mentor. Matlab, nowadays you'll be spending much of time on your education planning, right? How to study, when to study, how many chapters you have to complete in this week. For all these academic activities, this personal mentor will be there. He'll be doing all the work, right? He or she, whatever, right? Okay, that person will be doing the entire planning work, and you just need to plan, you just need to study according to that particular plan. Matlab, you'll feel so free once this person is assigned to you. Then live doubt solving classes, weekly reports, all things are made just to make you super confident. If you go for 12 months, it should cost you 2,333 per month. And if you make the subscription before today midnight with the code of AMB10, you'll be given 20% of discount from that particular price which I have told you. So why you have to miss this chance? Okay, get 20% of discount and maximum offers, and be a part of an Academy family. Start learning with us and grab the maximum marks for all the upcoming examinations. Okay, now you'll be asking, sir, are all the classes paid on the platform? No, we have a special class tomorrow at 4:30 on wave optics. You know how important the topic wave optics is, right? So tomorrow we'll be doing so many numerical questions from the chapter of wave optics, and we'll make this particular topic of wave optics super clear. Don't miss it. Tomorrow at 4:30, the link for joining is given on the top. Click on the link, be a part of this class, and it is completely free. You just need to use the code of AMB10 while enrolling for this course. AMB10 for enrolling this course. ठीक है, हो गया. वक्त आ गया मेरा बच्चा लोग to start learning physics, and here we are. Just tell me, are you all ready for it? Gayatri, smart boy, smart girl, Ritik, Enera, Miara, Gayatri. Let's start the class. Obviously, I am ready. What about you all? बच्चा लोग आप सब लोग ready है क्या? If you guys are ready, obviously I am also. Let's go with the classes. Let's start the classes. Sana, yes. Srishti, good evening. Yes, Sudeep, yes. Everyone is like, yes, sir. Okay, we guys are totally ready. Just start the classes. Okay, let's start. If you guys are ready, why I have to wait? ठीक है, शुरू करेगा. Tell me बच्चा लोग. We have completed 2 lectures of dual nature from modern physics, है ना? Now, obviously, if 2 lectures are over, we might have studied something. First, tell me what all we have studied till now. We have learned about photoelectric effect, okay, and the experiment conducted to find out how the light is influencing this photoelectric effect. Right, and it was from this experiment on photoelectric effect, it was found out by Einstein that what did he found out? He found out that the light, which is a radiation, is not only having the wave nature, right, it is also having the particle nature. We have learned this, and the particle nature of light, or the particles of light, was called with a name by Einstein, and it was called as photon. Matlab, light is having both the properties. You'll be asking, sir, how it works if the light is having both the properties? I'll tell you. Now, the property of the light will be wave according to the situation. The property of the light will be a particle according to the situation. I'll give you an example, Sunil. Right? If we want to explain the phenomena of light, such as diffraction, such as interference, we have learned this from wave optics, right? When we want to talk about these kind of phenomena of light, we'll be considering light as a wave. Okay, let's say we want to explain the phenomena of light, such as photoelectric effect. Okay, or Compton effect. This is something which we don't have to learn, but it is being mentioned, I say, so I'm just telling you, we don't have to learn about it, right? If we want to learn about these kind of phenomena of light, during that time we'll be considering light as a particle. So according to the situation, we will be changing the light, okay, and how it behaves. Sometimes we can say that we having the wave nature when we are talking about diffraction and interference, that kind of situations. And when we talk about photoelectric effects or Compton effects, then we'll be considering light as a particle. We have learned this, and we have completed the learning of this particular part in the previous 2 classes, and I hope you all have made the notes and did enough question. Now what is going to be learning in this particular part? When this discovery was made, this discovery matlab the light having both the properties of a particle and a wave, a scientist came. Naam kya hai uska? D. Broglie hai? No, it is being pronounced as D. Broglie, right? I think it's better to say D. Broglie. It is giving a certain flavor to that name. Anyway, his actual name is D. Broglie, right? It doesn't matter. We are simply writing the name on his paper, so you should be knowing the spelling. Actually, D-E-B-R-O-G-L-I. ठीक D. Broglie. Now, what he said, just like everyone else, we know that the entire Earth is symmetry, or the entire universe is symmetry, है ना? हम सबको पता है the entire universe is symmetry. So he was the only person to observe that the universe is having complete symmetry, and he told that if light can have both the properties, or if the light can have particle nature, the particles along with the particle nature will also be associated with the wave nature. What he said, right? The universe is completely symmetrical, right? He know that, or it was being discovered that light is having the particle nature. If light, which is a radiation, can have the particle nature, the de Broglie, the scientist, told that the universe is symmetry. So if light can have the particle nature, the particle can have the wave nature also. And this is what we call it as de Broglie's hypothesis. Matlab, a particle will be having a wave nature along with its particle nature, and this was the assumption put forward by de Broglie. Now you can ask me, sir, was there any experimental proof for that to support this de Broglie statement? No. You can ask me, sir, is there any other theorems which was existing to validate this de Broglie's theorem? Which we nothing was there. He just made an assumption just like this, and he just told to the entire scientific world that the universe is symmetrical and the particles will be associated with a wave nature. And later so many experiments were there, so many theorems were found out to validate this de Broglie's theorem. Okay, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize also after that. Basically, from this single statement, he won Nobel Prize. So do you have any these kind of ideas in your head मेरा बच्चा लोग? ऐसा ideas कुछ है क्या आपके head पे? तने नयरा cute मिथिलेश कुछ है क्या ऐसा ideas? Okay, देख ले 2 ही lines पे Nobel Prize. Okay, isn't it something awesome? Don't you say that? And don't make fun of scientist people, right? Okay, ठीक है. Now देख ले, what was the exact statement he made? Let's write it. ठीक है, the exact statement. De Broglie's hypothesis. Why no one is asking, sir, why it is not a de Broglie's theorem? Why it is a hypothesis? Like I told you, मेरे बच्चे लोग, this is just an assumption. Because there was no experimental proof or there was any other theoretical proof to support this particular theorem or the statement put forward by de Broglie. So it is just an hypothesis, matlab a simple assumption. I'll just write it down. Okay, it was simply an assumption here. And what is said in this assumption, right? He says that all particles which are moving, right? If it is moving, it is associated with the wave nature, and it is this particular statement which made him to get Nobel Prize. Wow, awesome, hai na? Awesome, sir, awesome. So just start looking for these kind of statement which can help you to get a lot much of prizes. ठीक है? Now scientists started to ask, okay, the remaining scientists became so jealous, right? They started to ask, if the particles are having the wave nature, they should be having a wavelength, है ना? So tell me de Broglie, what is going to be the wavelength of these particles? Arey wow, he had the answer for that also. Let's say this is a particle of mass m moving with a velocity v. So obviously what will be its momentum? Mass into velocity, right? He said that the wavelength associated with this particle is equal to h, which is Planck's constant, divided by p. So the wavelength associated with this particle is given by the formula of h by p, where p is momentum and h is the Planck's constant. I hope everybody knows. H का value कितना है? 6.6 into 10 power minus 34 joule second. Okay, those who don't know, ये h क्या है? So lambda का formula भी मिल गया, मतलब the wavelength का formula भी मिल गया. Now there was so many doubts, people, because it was just a hypothesis or assumption. So people kept on asking the question. Next question was, right, whenever we hear about waves, right, what is the usual picture of waves that comes into our mind? वो क्या है? अरे, when we have a tight string, let's say, and when we make a wave out of it, we'll be seeing a wave like this, है ना? This is the usual picture of wave, what is in our mind. So people started to ask, from the particle, what kind of a wave is originating? What kind of a wave? What is the shape of that going to be? What is the nature of those waves is going to be? He just said, right, this is a new wave. Everyone started to get confused. When I say, when the de Broglie said that it is a new wave and the waves associated with the particles or these matter was called as matter waves. नया वाला नेम है, okay, and the existence, इसका shape, okay, and defining its nature is not according to our syllabus, so we are not going for that. We only have to know that the waves associated with the particles is a different kind of waves, and that waves are called as matter waves. Okay, clear till this part? Clear है ना? Lambda का formula, wavelength का formula, that is very important, h by p. Everybody write it down. जल्दी 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 हो गए इधर तक? Yeah, lot many questions also waiting for us. Shreya, Jia, Lucky Boy, Cute Panda. Which are the experiments of photoelectric effect? Watch the first session and second session. You will understand. ठीक है Q2? एल्लाम एकदम noted है ना सब? सृष्टि, जिया, सुमन, ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. Okay. Now we started to move on. Next question which the entire community of scientists started to ask, right? If the matter is having waves, obviously we are also matter, है ना? We all humans, this particular stone, or let's say this particular water bottle, all are matter. Why we are not able to see the waves originating from these particular matters? He had the answer for that also. Okay, let me take an example and explain you that. Let's say here we have a person. Okay, we have one person here, and he is having a mass of some 100 kilogram, and let's say this person is running with a velocity of 1 meter per second, right? What will be the wavelength associated? कितना हो जाएगा? Tell me, कितना हो जाएगा? Lambda is equal to, according to him, the formula for wavelength is h divided by p. Okay, let's find out the value of wavelength. कितना होता है? H is 6.6 into 10 power minus 34. ठीक है? By P, momentum, mass into velocity. Mass is how much? 100 or 10 power 2 into velocity is 1 we have considered. है ना? कितना हो जाएगा this one? 6.6. This 10 power 2, है ना? It goes up, right? And that will be equal to 10 power minus 2. So almost it will be 10 power minus 36 हो जाएगा. मतलब the wavelength will be equal to 6.6 into 10 power minus 34 divided by 100. मतलब इतना छोटू, देख ले how much is the value for wavelength. बहुत छोटू, इतना छोटू है ना. So if anybody is having this chotu wavelength, we also know that it cannot be detected. So he told that as the wavelength is too small for all the real object which we can see and hold, right? The wavelength or the matter waves associated with these particles are not significant. Okay, the waves associated with us, the waves associated with the stones, the waves associated with this water bottle, the waves associated with an ant, okay, it is not so irrelevant. Why? Because the wavelength associated with all those particles are very small. Okay, so the wave nature is not at all significant in all those cases. So in which case it is going to be significant? When we are having a theory, it should be having some significance and some importance, right? Or some place where we can apply that. Where is it important? Array, in subatomic particles, just take the consideration of an electron, right? Let's say an electron we have which is moving with a speed of 1 meter per second. What is the mass of an electron? Electron का mass कितना है बच्चे? अरे 9.1 into 10 power minus 31, right? So let's try to find out the wavelength associated with an electron according to this case. कितना हो जाएगा? Lambda will be equal to h by p. H is 6.6 into 10 power minus 34. The whole divided by mass is equal to 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. The mass of an electron into 1. Okay, so you can see that this will be 6.6 divided by 9.1. 10 power minus 31 goes up, that will become 10 power plus 31 into 10 power minus 34 is 10 power minus 3 meters. This is a value which we can consider, right? This is a value for wavelength which has significance, and this is a value of wavelength which can be detected. So de Broglie said that, okay, this concept of matter waves is not so relevant for all these big objects. It is actually relevant to subatomic and subnuclear particles, and it is in those cases these wavelengths and this wave nature of the particle is more significant. understood the significance of this. It was after this particular concept, the Schrodinger wave equation, because you know that the last atomic structure was related to Bohr. After that, when this de Broglie's hypothesis came into discovery, okay, it was found out that the particles are also having the wave nature, and it was from this wave concept of electrons, the Schrodinger's atomic structure and the Schrodinger's wave particle equations and electron equations came into existence. I think you all have learned that in chemistry. We are not going for that, right? I was just telling you what are the significance of this de Broglie's hypothesis. Clear? समझ में आ गया? Okay, I was not going for the final answer here. I was just telling you, making you understand that the wavelength associated with the subatomic particles are significant. आ गया समझ? Understood what I wanted to tell you, मेरे बच्चे लोग? सबको? Okay, cute panda. Thank you so much. Okay, clear? First class. Array, thank you so much, Panda. Shweta, clear, so much. Now, karchu questions karega. Karchu is the Malayalam word for we'll do some questions. What do you say? Clear and understood? ठीक है, तो कर ले. पहला question ये है, नन्नू मुन्नू question है, right? We have two types of question, either नन्नू मुन्नू questions और कठिन कठोर question. ये तो नन्नू मुन्नू. So जल्दी से जल्दी, Saloni, Shreya, Prakash, everyone. Give me the answer for this question. नन्नू मुन्नू question के. इस नन्नू मुन्नू question का उत्तर क्या है मेरे बच्चे लोग? सारे एक सॉन्ग. अरे पहले उत्तर दे दे जल्दी. So Miara is giving me the option D. Jia for option D. Mithilesh is option D. Yes. We can close our eyes and tell that it is option D. Arey, what is the question? To make a graph between the momentum of the particle and the associated de Broglie's wavelength. Those who know simple mathematics and those who know de Broglie's formula can do this. Lambda is equal to h by p, and we are asked to find out a graph between this wavelength and momentum. Tell me how this equation is looking like. It is actually looking like a graph of y is equal to some constant by x. Arey, y equal to 1 by x graph. What is the shape of y equal to 1 by x graph? This is x-axis, y-axis. As a parabolic graph, isn't it? So similarly, lambda is equal to h by p is a graph just like y equal to k by x. So the graph will be ऐसे, है ना? ऐसे hyperbolic, just like option D. है ना? नन्नू मुन्नू question. Nannu munnu question. So if anybody is asking this question, I think without giving any thoughts you will be giving the answer, ना? ऐसे दे सकता है. Okay. Now let's do some theory. Okay, shall we do a छोटू theory here? नन्नू मुन्नू theory के लिए ready है क्या? You got it correct, Anera. Very वाह, बढ़िया बात है. Okay, coming back, everybody listen. Now let us find out a formula for wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. What are we going to do? We are going to find out a formula for wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. ठीक है? Okay, whatever you say, Ameer भैया. We know the basic formula for wavelength is equal to h divided by p, where p is momentum. Now we have to substitute for momentum in terms of kinetic energy. Do we know any formula? I think everybody knows, but those who don't know, I'll make the derivation once again. Kinetic energy का formula क्या है बच्चा लोग? Half mv square, right? I'm going to multiply one mass on the numerator and one mass on the denominator. No changes, right? So kinetic energy is equal to mv the whole square. What is mv? Momentum. So this became momentum square by 2 into mass. है ना? So momentum P is equal to 2m into kinetic energy, 2m into kinetic energy with a root. अरे कितना सिंपल है सर. ओके, कितना सिंपल है. देख ले. So h divided by momentum is equal to root of 2m into kinetic energy, and this is the formula or another formula for wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. Can I make a question and ask you everyone? No question. Okay, we have an electron. Okay, then we have a proton. Okay, and then we have an helium. Okay, electron we have a proton we have, then we have helium, okay, or alpha particle, helium 2 plus, all have same kinetic energy. Arrange them in the order of their decreasing wavelength. Arrange them in the order of decreasing wavelength. कैसे करेगा? All are having the same kinetic energy. We have electron, then we have a proton, then we have helium. Any idea? कोई idea क्या? सोच ले. Anyone tell me who will be having the maximum kinetic energy? Maximum wavelength. Just tell me that. Among the three, which one will be having the maximum kinetic energy? That is the question. Jaldi. Khushbu, Saloni, Sumit, Naira, Tanmay, Cutie Panda. Who's going to give me the answer? Who's going to give me the answer? Anyone? Array, bilkul, no one is ready to give the answer. Helium 2 plus maybe. Array, that will be having the maximum wavelength. Electron, Prakash Ved. Array, very good, mera bacha. Very good. Dekh le. Now, lambda ka formula, we already know that h divided by root of 2m into kinetic energy. Here it is being told that kinetic energy is same for all of them. So if kinetic energy is same, we can say that lambda is inversely proportional to what? क्या? अरे root of mass inversely proportional to root of mass है ना? ठीक है. Now whichever is having CO2 mass will be having the largest wavelength because they are inversely proportional, right? So among the three, which one is having the CO2 mass? Electron, proton or helium? It is electron. Right, so lambda of electron will be more. Which is the next mass? Okay, which is the next CO2 mass after electron? वो तो proton. Okay, so the next wavelength will be for proton, and it is the helium which has the largest mass among the three. So it will be having the minimum value of wavelength. Okay. Okay, Deepak sir, why we call it as hypothesis? Okay, I think you just joined now, Deepak. I already have told you, right? The reason is this de Broglie, when he discovered this particular statement, or when he discovered this concept of matter waves, it was not being proved. So it is just a statement or an assumption at that point of time before, okay, which later was being proved by all the experiments and theorems. At that time, it was not being proved. Easily, it is called as an hypothesis. Okay, those who missed the initial part can understand this concept. ठीक है, आ गया ना ये समझ? Question is also done, sub. Can I add a bit more to this also? Right, whatever is given in your NCERT, NCERT has added a bit more of wavelength ka formula. I'll tell you. देख ले, everybody listen here. Right, another formula for wavelength is what we are going to do now. देख ले. You have two plates here. This plate is actually at a zero potential, and this is at a negative potential of V. Let's say at the positive potential I am having some charge Q. Okay, we all know that the charge Q is now at a higher potential 0 volt. Why higher? Because the other one is negative potential V. Okay. Tell me, in which direction this charge particle will be moving? A charge particle will always be moving from the higher potential of 0 volt to a lower potential of minus volt in this particular direction. And as it starts moving, because it is attracted, right, it will be having some force with which it moves. So it will be having some acceleration, and this charge particle will gain some velocity also, or speed also, let's say. Okay? Now, question is, if the charge particles are accelerated towards the negative potential, what is the formula for kinetic energy? कैसे करेंगे? How can I find out the kinetic energy that is being grabbed by this particular charge particle? How can you find out? अरे very simple. देख ले, when the charge particle moves from 0 to minus volt, it is moving from a higher potential energy region to a lower potential energy region. मतलब there is a decrease of potential energy, right? There is a decrease of potential energy. Potential energy will decrease. Energy is always conserved, right? This decreased potential energy has to be given to the body as some other kind of energy. And how this energy is stored inside the body? When potential energy is decreased, and that is converted as the increase of kinetic energy. Everybody knows this concept. This is the ground. I am keeping a body at some height, it will be having a potential energy of mgh. Now once you drop it, what happens? The body will be moving from high potential energy to low potential energy region. Matlab decrease of potential energy. And that decreased potential energy is converted as what? Increased kinetic energy. We all know that. Same concept. When the charge moves from higher potential energy to lower potential energy region, potential energy to decrease ho jayega. And that decreased potential energy is actually converted as the increase of kinetic energy. Yes, is it clear? Every one of you? Okay. What is the decrease of potential energy? I hope you all know the formula for potential energy for a charge is equal to, we have learned in electrostatics. How many of you know? How many of you know the formula for potential energy with respect to potential and charge? किस लोगों को बताएं? I want every one of you to know. Those who forgot, it is charge into potential at that particular point, potential energy ka formula. Right? Note it down. A very important concept from electrostatics. Now tell me, what is the potential energy initial when it is at the first plate having 0 volt? Charge into potential at that point. Initial potential is 0. So initial potential energy is also 0. What about the potential energy when it reaches the plate 2? Again, charge Q into potential at that point, that is minus V. So minus QV hota hai its potential energy. So what is the decrease in potential energy? Decrease in potential energy kitna? 0 minus QV. So that is equal to plus QV. So the decrease of potential energy is equal to QV, and that is equal to the increase of kinetic energy. Matlab, the present value of kinetic energy stored inside this charged particle kitna ho gaya? Charge into potential difference between the plates. This is very important. Once again, the increased value of kinetic energy is equal to charge into potential difference between the charged particles being accelerated. समझ में आ गया? Is it clear? सबको? Very important concept है ये. That's why I took some time and explained all the concept to every one of you. समझ में आ गया बच्चा लोग? जल्दी बता दे in the chat box. बोल दे हाँ सर बिल्कुल क्यों नहीं? अच्छा concept था. And those who understood, right? Start noting it down as soon as possible. Sana, Prakash, Saloni, Srishti, clear? Tanmay, Khushbu, Prakash, very good. Makkan clear. Arre wah, mera achhe. Shweta clear. Arre wah, very good, very good. Awesome. Now, can we continue? Can we continue? Right? Dekh le. Now, the charge particle is moving with some velocity. If a charge particle starts to move, it is a matter. Charge particle is a matter or a particle which is moving. And whenever a charge particle moves, it is associated with a wavelength which is called as de Broglie's wavelength. Formula is h by p, or is equal to h divided by root of 2m into kinetic energy. The second formula we have to write 2-3 minutes before, right? Now, for this charge particle which is accelerated through a potential difference of V, do we know the formula for kinetic energy? Yes, we do know the formula of kinetic energy. How much is it? Q charge into the potential difference. So the formula for lambda is H divided by, देख ले, root of 2 into M into charge is, kinetic energy is Q into the potential difference. And there we have derived one amazing formula for the de Broglie's wavelength when a charged particle of Q is accelerated through a potential difference of V. बहुत important है, बहुत important मतलब इतना immensely important. Okay, clear? Clear. Every one of you आ गया समझ? Noting? जल्दी कर ले अरे. Slow writers can take the screenshot. Okay. ठीक. Now moving on. Before doing with this question, right? Let's make a chotu derivation. बहुत chotu derivation, right? We know that mainly this de Broglie's wavelength is associated with electrons, right? We usually calculate the wavelength associated with these electrons, right? So if it is with electrons which is accelerated through a potential difference of V, what is the wavelength associated with it? What is the general formula? H divided by root of 2m into charge into potential difference. For an electron, if we are calculating the value of wavelength, we know the mass of wavelength, this m, kitna? 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. We know the charge of this electron, magnitude is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. H का value भी पता है, 6.6 into 10 power minus 34. सब पता है. If you substitute all these values, H का, M का, Q का, the value you are going to get is 1.227 divided by this potential difference will be there as a root V, and we will get the value of wavelength in nanometers. It is 1.227 by root V. This is the simplest method of finding out the wavelength associated with electron only. ठीक है? When the question is about proton or alpha particles or any other particles, don't use 1.227 wala value. This is the value you can use for finding the wavelength of kiska? Electron ka. Okay, 1.227 by root V nanometer. Matlab if a question pop-ups, right, for a specific electron which is accelerated through a potential difference of P, uska wavelength kya hai? We can directly use this formula, lambda is equal to 1.227 by root V. मिल गया आंसर ऐसे मिल जाएगा. ठीक है? क्लियर एवरीवन? ये भी क्लियर है ना? अच्छे से, बहुत अच्छे से. जल्दी बता एंड नोट भी कर ले, बिकॉज क्वेश्चंस आर वेटिंग फॉर अस. And we are going to make all these concepts super clear by doing as many problems as possible. मिल गया? Yes, Prakash, Deepak, Abhi, Miara, sir is derivative equation by remembering the steps more easy or क्या? Okay, Khushbu, yes, Prakash, Joya, Shweta, getting it noted. ठीक है? So if you guys have understood and if you are super clear with the concept, no one can stop you from giving me the answers, right, for this question. You all have 20 seconds. Nannu Minu question. Go for it. Question क्या है? Nannu Minu. आ गया हमारा नन्नू और मुन्नू दोनों आ गया. जल्दी दे दे उत्तर. This formula is only for electron. Very good, Prakash. Yes. Everyone is like 1 by root 2. Everyone is like, sir, वो तो option. Someone is like D दे रहा है, someone is like B दे रहा है. Let's see. Correct option B है. Question. By what factor will the de Broglie wavelength change if the kinetic energy of the free electron is doubled? First tell me, what is the simple formula for wavelength in terms of kinetic energy? क्या है? h divided by root of 2m into kinetic energy. This is the initial value of wavelength. Question is to find out the new wavelength of lambda dash. In which case, when the kinetic energy becomes, instead of k, 2k ho jayega. Let's substitute. H divided by root of 2m into k ho jayega 2 times k. 2 times k. Now, this extra 2 with the root, I am putting it outside as 1 by root 2. And what remains is h divided by root of 2m into k. No doubts है ना? कोई भी doubts नहीं. देख ली. h divided by root of 2m into k. h divided by root of 2m into k is lambda है ना? ठीक है. Lambda हो गया, by root 2 भी हो गया. So lambda dash, which is the new wavelength, is equal to 1 by root 2 times the initial wavelength, and हमारा आंसर है ऑप्शन में. कितना अच्छा है, isn't it? और क्या, नन्नू मुन्नू क्वेश्चन. नन्नू मुन्नू क्वेश्चन हो गया. Okay, next. Sir, give us the next question. Jaldi, sir, give us the next question. Everyone is like, sir. है ना? ठीक है. Next question is right here. नहीं अच्छा था. ठीक है. Then just read this question and find out whether this question is at least अच्छा to you or not. Chocolate question. ठीक है. This is a bit more tough question. Not toughest question. Okay, a bit tough compared to the previous question we did. I can only say that. So jaldi kar le. And once you're done, give me the answer. Waiting for your answers. Anyone? Other than the lame comments, anybody have the answer? किसी के पास है क्या आंसर मेरा? चलो. प्रकाश बोल रहा है कि ऑप्शन सी बोल रहा है. करणवर, खुशबू. Option A and option C is almost so close, है ना? So I think better you all can get confused between the option A and C. Actual option is A only. ठीक है? I'll tell you how to do it. Question is to find out the de Broglie wavelength associated with an electron, okay, with kinetic energy. Formula क्या है? H divided by root of 2m into kinetic energy, isn't it? But here the only problem is the kinetic energy is given in electron volt. We have to convert into joules. Kyun? Because joule is the SI unit of energy. What is the conversion rate? I'll tell you. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So 5 electron volt will be equal to 5 times 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. We can substitute that. देख ले, h divided by root of 2 into m into k is equal to 5 times 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 into 5. Clear? Now, this 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, isn't it the numerical value of electronic charge, which is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So if you do the mathematics of h, which is 6.6 into 10 power minus 34 by root 2 into mass of electron into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, क्या मिल जाएगा? अरे क्या मिल जाएगा? We already know the value. What will we get? H divided by root of 2 into mass of electron into charge of electron value is 1.227. Isn't it? 1.227. So here we will get as 1.227 itself with nanometer divided by root 5. ठीक है? Now, how much will be this answer? 1.227 by root 5, we will be getting it as 0.547 nanometer. Array, we have to get the answer in Armstrong. 0.547 nanometer. Armstrong में कितना? It is 5.47 Armstrong. Okay, making the 10th place to the right once we know that nanometer can be converted to Armstrong. मिल गया? मिल गया? जल्दी फटाफट बता. मिल गया? Is the concept clear to every one of you? क्लियर? अच्छे से जल्दी बता. So many questions are waiting for us. We are going to do lot many questions so that this concept of de Broglie's wavelength is super clear to everyone here. ठीक है? Now got it, sir? ठीक है. Clear, Shreya? Okay? Yes. Beautiful, awesome. देख ले, everyone is clear, so why we have to wait? Here we have the next question. Start doing it. Just I'll read the question for you. In the meanwhile, you can also do the problem. Question is, what is the ratio of the de Broglie wavelength of a proton and an alpha particle if they are accelerated by the same potential difference? V है ना, वो तो same है. In that case, ratio of de Broglie wavelength of proton and that of an alpha particle. Jaldi kar le, every one of you. Go for it. I think everybody already started to give the answers. Everyone is going for option C here, 3√2:1. And some are going with Karanveer is going for option D, I say. Shreya, I think you all are doing the problems and giving me the answer. इसलिए मैं इतना टाइम दे रहा हूँ सबको. Smart Boy option C, Khushbu option C, Shreya option C, Shrishti A. And the first person to give me the correct answer here goes to Shrishti. Very good. The correct option is A only. Shall we do it? Okay. Question is to find out ratio of de Broglie wavelength of proton and alpha particle if they are having the same potential difference. For doing this, first we have to write the formula for wavelength in terms of the potential difference. Formula क्या है? Lambda is equal to h divided by root of 2m into charge into potential difference. Right? है ना? Isn't it? Yes, it is. Now we can find out the ratio of wavelength of proton to the wavelength of alpha particle. So on the numerator we can write the formula for wavelength of a proton. कितना होता है? h divided by root of 2 into mass of proton into charge of proton into potential difference is same for all the proton and alpha. So we can put it as V itself. ठीक है? Whole divided by. Okay. The wavelength for alpha particle, that is h divided by root of 2 into mass of alpha into charge of alpha into h will be getting cancelled, है ना? This root 2 get cancelled, this v get cancelled. What remains inside the root is this mass alpha, charge alpha will go up. Mass of alpha, charge of alpha divided by mass of proton, charge of proton. हो गई बात, right? What is the mass of alpha particle? That is equal to 4. What is the charge of alpha particle? 2. Helium 2 plus. अरे alpha, I hope everybody knows alpha particle means helium 2 plus. Those who don't know, write it down. By mass of proton is 1 AMU, charge of proton is 1. So we have the ratio as root 8. 4 2s are 8. That is 2 root. कितना सही है? कितना सही है? Isn't it? Clear? And Siddhant, please don't spam in the class. मत कर ले spamming. ठीक है? Okay. नोट किया सबने? If you have any doubts, you all can ask me. जल्दी फटाफट पूछ ले. हाँ, more question दे रहा हूँ. बहुत सारा question दे दूंगा भैया ने. बहुत सारा question दे दूंगा. Now clear? Why does this look so difficult and jumbling? Isn't the handwriting not clear to you? Can't you read it? Do you want me to write a bit in bigger letters? Miara is complaining. Anyone else? Do you want me to write the letters in a bigger way? Bada bada letters way. Okay. Here we go. It's okay? Clear? Okay, now try to do this problem. I'll take a fresh page for explaining this particular question. Okay, and then we'll be doing in a bada big page. I'll write big letters. Itna bada, so that nobody can miss it. Okay. Siddhant, tomorrow I'm having a session at 10 p.m. related to the colleges. Okay, so you can join my class at 10 p.m. tomorrow, where we talk about which are the important NITs, IITs, what are the cutoff marks you should be having. Okay, we'll be talking about all those things. So during that class, you can come and join. Okay, I'll be giving you the proper answer for that. Right now, we are discussing about modern physics, है ना? तो दे दे, इसका उत्तर दे दे. Let me see who is going to give me the correct answer. Someone was like, sir, all the questions are so easy. Why don't you give us some good question? वो कहाँ है? Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? कौन है? वो तो चला गया है क्या? When the answer is asked, no one is there. Okay, so I can have Prakash with option B, Mithilesh, Sumit with option D. Option B is for Prakash. Okay, Shrishti with option B. So I'll say Prakash, Shrishti, Khushbu. Very good. The correct answer is हमारा option B है मेरा. चलो सही किया आप लोगों ने, सही किया. You all did so good. Shall we discuss this? It's option B only. देख ले कैसे करेंगे. The energy of a photon is equal to the kinetic energy of a proton. Fine. प्रोटॉन का काइनेटिक एनर्जी एंड फोटोन का एनर्जी इक्वल है एंड ऑल ऑफ देम आर इक्वल टू ई. वील राइट इट इन द नेक्स्ट पेज. Okay, let's see, do we have a small space here? Yes, here we have a space. What is given? Energy of a proton is equal to energy of a photon and that is equivalent to E here. ठीक है, that is the first statement given. Lambda 1 be the de Broglie wavelength of a proton and lambda 2 be the wavelength of a photon. Question is, lambda 1 by lambda 2 is proportional to what of E? ठीक है, so we can write the formula for lambda 1, lambda 2, take its ratio and find to what value of E it is proportional to. ठीक है, fine. Lambda 1 is the de Broglie wavelength of a proton. Lambda 1 is the de Broglie wavelength of a proton. Formula क्या है? H by P, that is equal to H divided by root of 2m into kinetic energy. How much is it given? E. दे दिया है. Okay. Now, next thing is lambda 2 is the wavelength of a photon. अरे energy of a photon क्या है? Energy of a photon, that is equal to h times its frequency. H, how can you write frequency? That is equal to velocity of light c divided by the wavelength. So energy of a photon E is equal to hc by its wavelength is given in the question as lambda 2. Rearrange कर ले. Lambda 2 is equal to hc divided by E. अरे हो गया हमारा. Lambda 1 का फॉर्मूला मिल गया, lambda 2 का फॉर्मूला मिल गया, take its ratio. Lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. You don't have to consider the remaining things, you only need to consider that energy part because you want to find out the final answer in terms of energy. So lambda 1 is proportional to, देख ले, 1 by root E divided by lambda 2 is proportional to 1 by E. Remaining terms I'm neglecting because we don't want the answer in those terms. Okay, fine. So ये E है ना, ऊपर हो जाएगा divided by root E. E by root E is root E or E raised to 1 by 2. E raised to 1 by 2. अब समझ में आ गया? Now is the concept clear? देख ले. E raised to 1 by 2. E raised to 1 by 2, lambda 1 by lambda 2 is proportional to. Go through each and every step we have written here. कोई भी doubt है तो this is your time to give me the answer or to ask the questions and get it cleared. Okay, clear? अच्छे से. Super clear. Got it now? Yes, clear. Concept is super clear, Shreya. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Okay. Next. Next question. ये क्वेश्चन किया है क्या? नहीं, ये क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है. दो और क्वेश्चन, then we have a छोटू concept. Okay, then we can say that this topic is done. एक और concept है, don't miss it. Fine. अरे निखिल, hard as rock questions as possible, please. ठीक है. I was giving you questions and you are flying more faster than any rocks that is possible. I didn't find you with the answers here. Jaldi, waiting for the answers. I hope you all know the formula, right? Answers waiting. अरे option A very good because you don't have to do anything, है ना? Option A correct है. Very good, Jia, Kushbu, Prakash, Shweta, right? Potential difference through which an electron is accelerated given है. Question is what is the de Broglie wavelength? Array, if it is the de Broglie wavelength of an electron which is accelerated, we know the formula is 1.227, okay, in nanometers divided by root of potential difference. ठीक है, this is equal to 1.227 divided by root of potential difference is given as 25 in nanometers. How much will we get? Root 25 is 5. 1.2 by 25 with 1.227 by 5, we'll get the answer as 0.25 in nanometers, and the options are given in Armstrong. And for converting nanometer to Armstrong, you have to place the decimal to the right side, 1 point right. So 0.25 will become 2.5 unit Armstrong. Option A. ठीक है, ठीक है, awesome, done, clear, super easy. हाँ, तो this I say that this is super easy only. और क्या, ये तो super easy है ना? super का भी ऊपर. This question we call it a नन्नू मुन्नू, है ना? Right? No sir, 12.27 by 5 is the direct formula to get in Armstrong. 1.227 is in nanometers. So check the unit. ठीक है? Who asked me? Who told me that? Nikhil भैया देख ले, unit देख ले. If it is 12.27, we have to get the answer, or the final unit will be in Armstrong. If it is 1.227, it will be in nanometers. वही है. Okay. So one last question before the next concept. Okay. एक last concept भी है, छोटू सा नन्नू मुन्नू concept भी है. Okay. Okay, or I think you can do this as a homework. ये तो homework कर सकता है. We have done so many questions. देख ले, of electron का de Broglie wavelength, kinetic energy is given as 144 electron volt. We all know the formula, right? हम सबको पता है h divided by root of 2m into charge into और 2m into kinetic energy. Kinetic energy का value दे दिया है, put it in the formula. हाँ, and हमको मिल जाएगा option A. ये नन्नू मुन्नू डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, सबको पता है ना? Everybody knows. Homework है, question B option A. So the method of doing this, we all know the formula. So try doing it and check whether you are getting the option A or not. We did many questions like this, है ना? Everybody already given the answer, but anyway you can check whether the answer is option A itself after the class. कौन कौन करेगा? बता दे कौन कौन करेगा, मतलब who all are going to do this problem once again after the class? Jia, Prakash, Ayush. Okay, yeah, Nikhil, option A. Yeah, Sana, very good. Super easy, right? ठीक है. Now, हो गया ना? Okay, देख ले, एक नन्नू मुन्नू कॉन्सेप्ट भी बाकी है, उसके बाद हमारा चैप्टर तो खत्म हो गया. Now, the main reason for calling the de Broglie statement has hypothesis, not a theorem, was because, right, there was no theory to support that, right? In order to validate the de Broglie hypothesis, there was no other theorems existing at that particular time, and that's why it was called as a de Broglie hypothesis or a de Broglie assumption. But it was later found out that this de Broglie hypothesis is in according to the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. याद है? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. How many of you do remember? I hope you do all remember, है ना? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Now, it was later found out that this de Broglie hypothesis is actually or can explain this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. You'll be asking, many of you might have already forgot. This is a simple thing from your chemistry, right? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, right? What does it say? What does Heisenberg's uncertainty principle say? It says that if an electron is moving through an orbit, it is impossible, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle say that it is impossible to find the exact, याद है ना, to find the exact position and velocity or speed of electrons at any time. Matlab, at any time we cannot find out what is the exact position and the speed of an electron. It is an impossible task to find out, and that is what is told in Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Matlab, whenever we try to find out the position, there will always be an error delta x. And whenever we try to find out the velocity, speed or its momentum, there will always be an error in the momentum also. And he told that if we multiply the error in path length or its position with its momentum, if we multiply, it will almost be equal to, approximately equal to a value in or near to h by 4 pi. Okay, if we multiply the error in position and error in momentum, it will be having a value almost close to h divided by 4 pi. And this is what is told in Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Okay, this can also be explained in another way. What is that another way? Dekh, everybody listen. Let's say somehow I am finding out the exact momentum of a particle. Somehow I found out the exact momentum of the electron which is revolving around the nucleus. If the exact momentum, if I find out, won't delta p be 0? Matlab, won't the error in momentum be 0? Yes, it will be 0. If we find exact momentum, okay, the error in momentum will be 0. Now tell me, according to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, if delta p is 0, what should be the value of delta x so that their product can be a non-zero value? If delta p is 0, whatever may be the value of delta x, let's say it is 2, 4, 100,000, whatever, once you multiply it, it will be given a value of 0. But according to Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, it shouldn't be 0, it should be a numerical value corresponding to h by 4 pi. So if delta p 0 ho gaya, to what should be the value of delta x so that their product can be a non-zero value? It should be an infinite. Okay, it should be infinity. Matlab, the error in the finding out the position should be infinity. Matlab, itna bada error hona chahiye. Samajh mein aa gaya? Matlab, somehow if we find out the momentum without any error, we won't be able to find out the location or position of the electron in any way. It is what is being told in Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Okay, this is something you have learned in your chemistry classes. I was just explaining those chemistry concepts to you. And what I wanted to tell here was, hamara de Broglie hypothesis hai na, okay, is acting in according with the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. ऐसे कैसे? देख ले. What is said in de Broglie's hypothesis? Let's say, okay, for a proton, I'm finding out its exact momentum. Okay, I'm having the exact momentum for an electron. Now I'm going to explain in terms of de Broglie's hypothesis. I have an exact value of momentum. If I have the exact value of momentum, error in the calculation of momentum is 0. Okay. Now if I have the exact momentum measured for an electron, there will be a wavelength associated with those electrons. Formula is lambda is equal to h by p. If I have the momentum, h by momentum will be giving you a wavelength. Matlab, if an electron is revolving around the nucleus, it will be associated with a wavelength, or it will be acting like a wave, and a wave can move in this direction, it can move in this direction, it can move in this direction, it can move in this direction. So if that electron is acting like a wave, electron can be spotted here or here or here or here or here. Matlab, an electron can be at any position or any point on this wave. Matlab, it can be around, okay, it can be at any point on this wave, which means it is impossible to locate the electron at that particular time, which means the error in finding out the position क्या हो जाएगा? What will it be? Array infinity हो जाएगा. And isn't this exact thing what is explained in de Broglie's hypothesis? Matlab, somehow if we make the error in momentum as 0, the error in the position of the electron will be infinity. So isn't Heisenberg's uncertainty principle in according with our de Broglie's hypothesis? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? So were we able to explain the de Broglie's hypothesis, or were we able to explain this Heisenberg's uncertainty principle using de Broglie's hypothesis? हो गया क्या? बोल दे. श्रेया, रिया, सृष्टि, सुमित, सना. Isn't it? Yes or no? आ गया क्या समझ? Is the concept clear to every one of you? सबको अच्छे से, without having any doubt. Very good, very good. Then it's awesome. When I say that, it's awesome. You all got the concept. आ गया तो आ गया, सबको अच्छे से आ गया और समझ में भी आ गया. And this is the entire concept of de Broglie's hypothesis, and this was the last concept from the part of where? This is the last concept from the chapter of dual nature, and on this Friday, ठीक है, at 8 p.m. we are going to start a new chapter. Which one? From the modern physics itself, the second chapter, which is atoms. So don't miss it. मेरा teaching से no doubt. अरे वाह, that's an amazing compliment. Okay, so thank you so much everyone, isn't it? This Friday we don't have any mentee, and now we have lot many chapters to complete for our upcoming term 2 examination. So I thought we should continue with our theory, right? Instead of sticking with mentees, right? Or maybe on Monday we can have the mentee session. Fine. So on this Friday at 8 p.m. we'll be having the regular class for atoms. ठीक है? Fine. सबको बढ़िया, सबको समझ में आ गया? Okay. Now if you want to make the chapter of wave optics also clear, just like this dual nature, don't miss tomorrow's special class. The link for joining the special class is given on the top. One more link is given, so that you can just reach at my Unacademy profile. You can just follow my profile. When you follow, whenever free special classes happen, you will get the notifications. ठीक है, फाइन. हाँ, एटॉमिक फिजिक्स एटम्स ही कर रहा है नेक्स्ट क्लास पे. फाइन. So chapter revision through numericals, wave optics tomorrow at 4:30. Don't miss it. Link is given on the top, right? And for unlocking this particular class, you can just type in हमारा code for the entire physics family, which is AMB10. ठीक है? Use this code of AMB10. Get into this wave optics class completely for free tomorrow. Special class. ठीक है? Don't miss it. Now, as we all know, if you make the subscription, how many hours are left? Okay, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you make the subscription by using the code of AMB10, you will be given 20% of discount for all the courses offered by Unacademy. Don't miss your chance. This is the right moment. So understand that this is the right moment. Don't miss your opportunity. Only 2 hours and 45 minutes. Then it will be only 10% of discount. So if you want to save some more amount of money and to start learning with us as an Unacademy family, this is your chance. Don't miss it. Okay? Arey Jia, thank you so much. Prakash, thank you so much. Now we are having batches also that is running. Science batch, Shine for term 2 is there. You can see awesome, amazing teachers who's going to teach you there. So don't miss your opportunities. Okay? Now Unacademy Prodigy program, those who don't know, it is an amazing way to get the scholarship for your colleges. It actually cost you 20 lakhs ka college grant mil jayega. The dates for joining all the classes or for this scholarship test is given. So accordingly you can come and join. And now I just want to show you, if you get the first rank, what are you going to get? Arey MacBook Air mil jayega. For the rank 2 to 3 Apple iPhone, 4 and 5 Apple iPad, 6 to 40 Amazon Echo Dot. Arey wah, baap re. Awesome, amazing gifts are waiting for you. Special class timetable I have already shared with you, right, for tomorrow. And once you're a part of special classes, there will be real chat boxes will be there where we can continuously interact. And you can continuously interact with your educator. Then questions tabs where you can post your doubts and get it cleared. Okay? Then live quizzes will be there. Leaderboards will be there. Wow, it's amazing. So, bachalo, I think you all have loved the class, understood the entire concept. So if that has happened, just move your cursor, click on the like button and do let me know that you have enjoyed the class. Jaldi everyone. Okay, this is the time to show some love towards your bhaiya. Okay, so don't forget to hit the like button, and at the same time you all can subscribe to the channel so that whenever a new videos, a new class happens, you will get the notifications. Okay? So thank you so much everyone. Khushbu, Shreya, Miara, Fun with Social Studies, Sena Prakash. Okay, so we'll see you on Friday at 8 p.m. with a new chapter. Don't miss it. Share the class to every one of your friends. Ask them to join on this Friday at 8 p.m. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.